Call me crazy if you want, but I've never liked store-bought pesto. I don't know why. I think it's because it never has enough.
Honestly, that is a little bit crazy. I don't see the issue with store-bought pesto. But this one time I was in Koh Lanta, Thailand. I was traveling with my ex-boyfriend, and we were traveling down to Trang, which is quite far south in Thailand. And we got on a minibus to take the trip. We booked the minibus through the accommodation that we were staying at in Koh Lanta. And we get on the bus, and there's one woman who I want to say was French. She was some kind of European. Let's go with French. And she's the only one in the minivan. And so we go to the next stop. You know, it's like one of these places that picks you up at your hotel, and so it drives around Koh Lanta, picking everybody up before it takes off and heads down to Trang. So we go to the next stop, and this, like, younger girl, I'd say like 12 or 13 maybe, was outside waiting to get on the minivan, and she was being said goodbye to by this older woman who was, like, you know, getting her on the bus. And she gets on and she sits in the row with this French woman, and the French woman says something like, "Oh, hey, I think I saw you last night at this bar with your mom." And the girl just looks at her and goes, "That's not my mom." And that was the end of that conversation. Okay, interesting. So that young girl was white. I don't know what her nationality was, but she was not Thai, or at least, you know, she wasn't ethnically Thai. And so we drive around from resort to resort to resort around Koh Lanta, and we pick up more and more Thai children. They're all around that age of like 8, 9, 10, 11. I'd say that first girl was probably the oldest of the bunch. They're all either by themselves or with one other child. Not a single other adult gets onto the minivan. They were speaking in Thai to each other, so obviously I didn't understand a word of what they were saying, but it seemed to me like they knew each other. Like, you know, they were being quite friendly with each other, considering that they were kids. And I know that kids can, like, be fast friends, but it seemed like more than that. And so we finally, like, the van is full of children. It's me, my partner, the other older French woman, and it's just children. And we leave the town, the island, and we are driving down south, and we stop on the side of a road somewhere. Like, we just pull off the side of the road. We don't, like, go off onto any back roads. And somebody comes over, like, runs over to the side of the van, opens the sliding door on the side, and, like, looks into the back and says somebody's name. And so clearly it's one of the girls' names. And this girl, I think she was sitting in the row in front of us, and she puts both of her hands onto, like, the seat in front of her and, like, tucks her head under, and is just like, "No, no, 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 no." And all the other kids around are kind of, like, talking really nicely to her. And it seems, again, I don't understand what they're saying, but it seems like they're being like, it's okay, you can go, you know, that's kind of the vibe. But ultimately she does not want to get out of the van, like, so intensely that the guy who was saying her name is just like, okay, and closes the van door, and we continue on. And we got to Trang, and me and my partner at the time got out of the van, and I have no idea what was going on there. But honestly, I mean, not liking store-bought pesto is wild. I mean, have you ever tried it, Susie?